Hello all, welcome to another session on PHP. In this session, we'll be focusing on file handling concepts in PHP. We'll look at the various file handling methods and then we'll see how to write a file upload script in PHP. The first task is we'll create an HTML form. We'll ask the user to enter his registration number, name and some comments. And we'll write this data to a text file and this text file will be on the server. Next, we'll look at the various file handling methods for reading data from a file, appending data to the file, and so on. So let's start with this activity, that is, create an HTML form and get the data from the form and write it to a file. This is a text file and that text file will be on the server. Let's start with this HTML document. And the title we are going to give here is file handling using PHP. So we are going to start off with a very simple form here. And the action is we're going to have the PHP script in the same file. So it's test.php. And method is post. We're going to send some data to the server, so we'll use the method to be post. I'm not going to have any JavaScript validation here, but if you like having validations, you can use the onSubmit event and you have to return true from your methods. So I'm just directly returning true here, not focusing on JavaScript validations. So in this form, first we'll have a label. We'll ask the user to enter his registration number. We'll call that registration, enter your registration number, and the input type will be text. We'll have a name field for this. We'll call the name as reg number. ID also we can have, ID is reg number. We'll make this required. Then we'll have a break. The next field is the name. So we'll ask the user to enter his name, enter your name. And input type is text. The name field for this is username. ID will have, ID is also username. We'll make this required. Break tag. The next is a text area wherein the user will enter his comments. The label is enter your comments. We'll have a break here. Then this is a text area. Name is comments. ID is comments. We can make this also required. Break. Finally, we'll have this input type to be submit. And value to be, value is submit. We'll also have a name. Name is submit. So our form is ready, it's done. Next we have to get the data entered by the user in PHP and write this data to a file. So let's write the data to the file. For this we'll be writing some PHP code. We'll write the PHP code here. First we'll check whether our submit button is set. So for this we're going to use the super global variable $_post. And then pass the name for the submit. If the submit is set, it means the user has submitted the form. We can get all the value entered, say reg number to be the first value. So again use the global variable post and the name attribute value that we are given is reg number in the HTML form. Like that you get the data for is username. We'll call this username and the name attribute value we have given in the form is username. For comments, then the value is comments, and in PHP we can say it's comments. So we have received the value entered by the user in PHP. Now the next task is we should open a file. So for this we'll use this file handling method fopen, and the file name we have to give. Here I am giving my name satish.txt. So this is the file to which we are going to write this data to, and the file open mode is W. So what this mode does is it opens the file only in the write mode. If the file is not existing, it will create the file, and every time it writes data, it will erase anything that exists in the file, and it will write this record as a new record to the file. If there are any issues with the file open, we'll exit with this script, that is can't open the file. And we'll call this file with a variable $myfile. So we are going to reference this file that we are opening with the variable $myfile. If the file open is successful, next we have to write some text to the file. What text I am going to write is $text. I'll concatenate all the contents that are coming in: registration number, $username, and $comments. And I'm also concatenating a new line. So this is like if you're writing a record, it will be written to a new line. That's the meaning. Now we have to write to the file. For this, the method we are going to use is fwrite, and we have to give to which file we are writing, that is $myfile. We are referencing the file we have opened as $myfile. And what is that we are writing? $text. That's it. We have finished writing. Maybe we can give a message echo data return to the file successfully. After we finish working with the file, we need to close the file. The method is fclose, and then which file we are closing? The file we have opened. That's it. Our activity is done. Now we'll see the output. So this is the output. Let me enter some data here. 12BC001. Name, I'll enter my name. Comments, Satish wrote this code. Now we'll submit this data to the file. Data written to the file successfully. This file is on the server. So here is this file, satish.txt. Let's check whether the data has been written to this file. So you see here, the data we have entered using the form is now written to the file. Say let's take another scenario here. That is, what happens if I enter another record? So let me enter another record to the file, 12BC002 RAM. I'll say this is record for RAM. When I submit this, what will happen? See, when you're opening the file in the write mode, it will erase the contents in the file, and then it's going to write it as a new record. So our old record is going to be lost. Let me again open this file. Let's check what is the content inside the file. So you see the old record was erased, and it has written it as a new record. Suppose you want to append all the records to the file. There is one small change you should make to the code. Instead of opening the file in the write mode, you open the file in the append mode. So what it does is it opens the file and places the file pointer at the end of the file. Whatever record you're going to write will be appended to the file. So now let us take this demonstration. Let's now write another record to the file, 12BCE003. Name is Satish. Satish is appending data. Let's submit this. Let's see what's the data now present in the file. So you see here, this was a previous record which was existing in the file, and now we have appended another record to the file. And one more thing, every record is written in a new line to the file. I hope you are able to follow this. Now the next activity is we have to read the data that we have written to the file and display the data to the user. The next activity we are going to take up is reading the data from the file. So you'll read the contents from the file and display it to the user when the user clicks the button. So we just have a button. When the user clicks the button, we should display the contents from the file. I have populated a few records in the file, 3 student records. So we should display this content to the user. Let's see how to perform that. So we're not going to have all these things in our form. It's just going to be a submit button. Maybe we'll say the value is view file contents. That's it. That's a form. we'll check whether the user has submitted. If the user has submitted, then we are going to open the file. Now the file open mode will be the read mode. If there are any issues in opening the file, we will exit with this script. We call this file as $myfile, and now we should read data from the file. The method for reading data from the file is fread. And from which file we are going to read the data, that we have to say, that is $myfile. And now we have to give the number of bytes that we are going to read from this file. So if you are planning to read the entire file, we can say file size. So we'll read the entire file. So file size, and then in quotes you give the name of the file. So it reads the entire file. And from which file? The file that we have opened in the read mode. And the contents that are read, we can move it to a variable. We'll call that $text. And we can echo this text so that the user is able to see the contents read from the file. So what we have done here, open the file in a read mode. So it's only used for reading data from the file. Any issues, we exit the file. And how you read, we use fread, whichever file we want to read from. And the file size says read the entire data from the file. We are moving that data read to this variable $text, and we are echoing that. After our work is done, we are closing the file. Let's check whether this code works. So there's an issue in line number 21. We are missing this semicolon here. Let's check again. So view file contents. When he clicks on view file contents, you see the data from the file is displayed to the user. The next activity we are going to take is we are going to read line by line from the file. That is, we are going to read record by record. We have written every record in a new line to the file. So we are opening the file. If there are any issues, we are exiting with this message. And here, what we are going to do is we are not going to read the entire contents. We are going to go line by line. We run a while loop, while not, end of file. So this is the method for checking end of file, end of file. Of which file? $myfile. If you have not reached the end of file, how to get every line? The method, file handling method is fgetS. And you read every line from this file, $myfile. And every line we are going to call it using a variable $result. After reading a line, we can echo that line to the user, echo $result. After writing a line, we can also concatenate a break tag so that every line is written to a new line on the web page. That's it. This is for reading line by line and displaying the output to the user. We are checking whether we have reached the end of the file. If not, get the line, map it to this variable, write the line to the output. Now let's check the output. View file contents. You can see every record is retrieved from the file and then it's displayed to the user. We are retrieving the records line by line from the file. So how do you read line by line? You use this method and you read the contents line by line. If you want to read the contents character by character, the method is fgetC. So now you're going to read it character by character. Let's check the output. So every character will be returned to a new line on the web page. So you see you're retrieving character by character and you're printing the data to a new line on the web page. So we have seen these methods while we are reading files, that is fread, file size, not end of file, file get yes, that is read line by line from the file, and read character by character from the file. Before we wind up this session, we'll also look at a few more file methods. Let's take a look at a few more file handling methods. For this, let's open this file, satish.txt. It already exists. We'll open that in the read mode. If any issues we face, we'll exit the script with this message, can't open the file. We'll refer this file using the variable $myfile. So we have open this file. Now we'll take a look at a few methods. The first method is file exists. So it checks whether a file exists on the server. We'll give the file name satish.txt. And it's a boolean method. If the file exists, we'll throw some message to the user like echo file already exists on the server. We'll concatenate with a break tag so that the next statement is printed to the new line. The next method we are going to use is readable, whether a file is readable. It's a boolean method. So we'll check whether a file is readable. We'll give the file name satish.txt. If it is readable, we'll echo the file is readable. And as usual, we'll also concatenate this break tag. File handling method is base name. So if you're going to give the file path, you're going to get the file name as the output. My file exists in this folder C XAMPP htdocs. Inside this I have created this IWP and I have this file inside this folder. So what base name does is it will just extract satish.txt and it will give you the output. Let's echo this and we'll also echo a break tag. The next method we are going to see is directory name. Maybe we'll copy this. So it's going to give the directory of your file. Say directory name is the method, and what it will give you as an output is the directory of your file. The next method we are going to see is file type. So it just says whether it's a file or a blog. What is the file type? So for us, the output will be file. Maybe we'll just give the file name here. And we also have methods like for copying a file. What is the method for copying one file to another file? Let's say copy. I want to copy satish.txt with satish1.txt. Okay. If you want to delete the file, it's unlink. You give the file name satish1.txt. The next method is fseek. If I'm going to place the file pointer in a specific location, I'm going to access the file and say, if I say 0, the file pointer will be placed in the start of the file. If I give 4, it will be placed after 4 bytes in the file. So fseek is the method for accessing your file pointer and placing it in a specific location. So with that, we are coming to an end on the discussion of file handling methods. Let's take a look at the output. There's an error in line number 6. Okay, the error is this. Let's run the file. So you see, this is the first thing. File already exists on the server. So this file already exists. So we are printing this. Is this file readable? File is readable. So that is our next message. And base name is it extracts the file name. And that's what we are seeing here. Directory, we're able to see the directory for the file. And what is the file type? That will be file, as I told you. And copy will copy this file to this file. We'll not be able to see this file on the folder because we deleted this file using unlink. And fseek will place the file pointer on the start of the file because we have given the location to be 0. With that, we are coming to an end of this session. We have seen a lot of concepts in this session like writing data to a file, appending data to a file, reading data from a file, and reading data line by line from a file, reading data character by character from a file, and also other file handling methods like file size, file exists, is readable, and base name, directory name, file type, copying a file to another file, deleting a file, and seeking the file pointer. I hope you were able to follow all the concepts. If you have any questions, you can leave your comments below. And thank you all for listening. Take care.